Hello, beautiful people. We're thrilled to have you join us on the show today, and welcome to Viewpoint, talk show where they talk as EV. On today's edition, we will be talking about up-to-the-minute trends and development, and also throughout the show, we will delve into topics that range from politics, current events, social issues, health, lifestyle, and so much more. You know how we do it. Whether you're watching us from home or on the go, just sit back, relax as we delve into these stimulating conversations. I am Hadiza Galadima, and joining me on the show is Confidence and Shamsuddin. As usual, my co-hosts with their unique perspective engage in a spirited discussion that will shed more light on some of the most complex problems of our world. And now, let's get straight into the business of the day. Let's get started. In the words of Victor Hugo, the brutalities of progress is called revolutions. When they are over, we realize this, that the human race has been roughly handled, but that it has advanced. We will be talking about EU suspension on Gabon as Cameroon and Rwanda retire generals and over 1,000 soldiers as fear of coup tightens. Also, we'll be talking about road rage and aggressive driving behavior. Later on the show, we will be talking about obesity and its implication on public health. All this and more after the break.
Experience the acceleration of Oweleketv. Get the latest news from the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry to the pulse-pounding realm of sports. We provide accurate and up-to-date information, exclusive interviews with top political analysts that will leave you craving more. Our team of professionals delivers captivating content from Nigeria and beyond. Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back. This is Viewpoint, talk show where they talk as EV. The African Union's Peace and Security Council on Thursday has suspended Gabon following the overthrow of President Ali Bongo by soldiers led by the head of Republican Guards. Rwanda and Cameroon hurriedly retired 1,029 senior officers in a surprise move against their respective militaries. The Rwanda Defense Force, in a statement issued and saying that the Rwanda authorities approved the retirement of 12 generals, including two 4-stars general and 2 3-stars general, with several other officers. While in Cameroon, the president, Paul Biya, has also reshuffled the military with new appointments due to the fear of possible coup in the country. So the question is, with the recent coup sweeping across African, Francophone, Western and Central Africa, can we say democracy is no longer working in Africa? Shamsuddin, let's start with you.
Okay, so I think we discussed something similar, I think, some few days back.
Yeah.
And they say the fear of coup is the beginning of wisdom. Yeah. So,
I like that.
So what we've actually seen over time is the fact that we are seeing more of like maybe the 1970s coming back, which were at that time also we had a lot of coups spreading across Africa. And it's worthy to know that between 2020 till date, we've had about 11 coups in Africa, and only about 8 of them were successful. So just last month, which is August, we had one that failed in Sierra Leone, but that of Gabon was actually successful. So we've seen that happening all around. And the only thing, like we've said earlier, is the fact that the military taking over, they've actually rolled on the sentiment that they actually coming for good governance, and that alone has actually give them the kind of the push and the popularist idea of where people, the community or the country, the citizens now coming to say, okay, fine, we are in support of this thing, let it happen. And one thing is, if you look at Paul Kagame of Rwanda, and you look at Paul Biya of Cameroon, you could see that they've also stayed too long in power. So, and they forestall that happening in the, that's the more reason why they quickly changed their top security hierarchy. But I think in Nigeria, we've actually learned that maybe we've had a series of coup. The moment a president comes into power in Nigeria, what they do is the first set of things they change is the security architecture. They retired some senior officers and bring in officers that are loyal to them, because that's how you can actually maybe avoid coup. And just yesterday, the military hierarchy in Nigeria came out openly to say, okay, if you are anybody within the Nigerian military and you are disloyal to the government, please come out and resign. So they've made it open, and with this, they're actually possibly paying their allegiance to the president, saying that, okay, yes, we are with you. Don't get no fear that, okay, at least there's no coup taking place in this part of the world. But generally, what we can see with what is happening, especially in Cameroon and Rwanda, is the fact that they've actually stayed too long. Paul Kagame has actually been in the helms of affairs in Rwanda since after their genocide. Since 1994, when they had the genocide till date, he has actually been in the helms of affairs as a president. Although there have been a lot of remarkable achievements and all that, but then for the sake of democracy, there's a need for a change in power. So, and it is believed that they say one thing about leadership is the fact that you are not successful until you have a successor. So one thing that Paul Kagame is actually at the test of the world right now is to prove to the world that he's actually a successful leader by possibly allowing a transition to come and giving another person opportunity to actually lead that country. And after that, you can now say, okay, fine, okay, we've had a successful leader in Rwanda. And that's why a lot of people are making reference to Nelson Mandela. When Nelson Mandela, after the apartheid regime that he came in as the president of South Africa, when he was leaving office, he handed over to Thabo Mbeki. So when he handed over to Thabo Mbeki, we've now had different presidents coming, Cyril Ramaphosa and the likes coming afterwards. So that alone has actually shown that, okay, this is, and that's why the world all over today celebrates Nelson Mandela, because he had the opportunity of saying, okay, after we've brought South Africa back to what we wanted, I can actually decide to stay back in office as long as I want. But even when he had that push, he still resists his own personal distance. Okay, there should be a transition. So we need more of such, and Paul Biya has actually made it more of like a family affair. He's, if not one, I think he's one of the longest serving presidents in Africa. And you have it in such a way that it's not about they being long in office. It's about even the reckless spending that their children do. They've been the children spend the taxpayers' money recklessly outside the shores of Africa. So, and this has to stop. Until we have public officers in Africa that are able to spend our money exactly the way we want it. Not that they will go and enrich themselves and their family, and at the end of the day, nothing is happening. So I think this is actually a good sign, and I hope that we are able to see it ending well, because it's just more of like it's a movie, or it's a scenario,
it's a series.
Yes, that is still unfolding. So we're watching, and we hope to see that everything that comes back falls back to the interest of the ordinary African man. Yes.
Honestly, Mr. Shamsuddin has said it all. He has said it all. While he comes from the angle of, I think it's a good thing, I'm going to combat it from the angle of, those people in power being scared. You know, they've turned it to a monarchical system of government where it's passed down from father to children. And democracy is not supposed to be like that. It's a government of the people, for the people, by the people. I think I mixed it up, but you get the drill. Yeah. It's the people that elect you into power, not you coming into power and then deciding to share the seat of governance among your family members. So I feel like what they did was, you know, since it has happened in Niger, it has happened in Gabon, I think they've spoken to themselves and said, if we continue like this, these people, they are going to, this military people will take over. So the best thing to do is disarm them. And, you know, he made a statement. He said, what you're supposed to do is retire the ones, you know, who were, you know, in the last regime and bring your own. But the question is, you've been in power for the longest of time. So who do you want to retire and bring, you know, to be with you? Or who are you going to call loyalists? And let me tell you, some of these military people in Cameroon, and this other Rwanda, probably some of them are already tired, and who you can't tell. Probably they were trying to, you know, stage their own, and then these two presidents felt that, okay, I think I should play. I need smarter. You know, let me play smarter. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to stop it. You understand? If you've gone through the history of coups in Nigeria, whether you decide to retire them or not, somehow it's going to rise. But like Shamsuddin said, he said, I hope it's for the good of, you know, the ordinary Africans. And let's not lie, with what has been happening in, you know, the African countries, Nigeria, it's looking like things are just happening on their own. You know, people in power do stuff, and, you know, the ordinary Nigerians, they are not accountable. And it's like, oh, we talk about it, we rave about it, we rage about it, and nothing is being done. So I once heard, you know, somebody close to me say, if democracy is not working, please let the military take over. Let's know if we will now listen by force or by coercion. But
for me, I think I will be a party to a military takeover.
Yes.
Now, I made a statement and an argument this morning. That is, number one, the first thing that the military, once they take over, the first thing they control is the media. So, the media is actually a powerful tool that gives the citizens the opportunity to view and express their thoughts and views. So they will first of all gauge the media. They will have to before anything goes out, they make sure that they streamline anything that goes out before the world. The second thing they will also do is the fact that those that are civil society organizations, NGOs that are actually fighting for the rights of the ordinary persons will also be gauged. And just this morning we saw the news that came in from Niger Republic, where the military, through the Ministry of Interior, is already saying that all international and both local and international NGOs will have to restrict their activities, suspend their activities. UN agencies in certain areas will have to suspend their activities until further notice, because they want to carry out some military activities. So now that's alone, and the development space alone is also one of the key employers of people. So it means that when these people are no more going to work, definitely there will be a problem. Yes, a lot of people are going to be on. If the media is taken out, the development space is taken out. They're not to talk about other parts. So definitely, it's going to create more unemployment for people. So if we're talking about the military. So it is always said that the worst democracy is better than any good military regime.
Wow. So you have yours out there. We would love to have your take as regards what we just discussed right now. So do get involved in our comment sections. We would love to hear from you, like I said. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Up next, we will be talking about the issues of road rage and aggressive driving behavior. We are all aware of the fact that driving can be a very stressful experience, especially in this part of the world, especially from where I am coming from. Yeah, where I'm coming from. So road rage is very personal. Road rage is an emotional response to driving that involves anger, frustration, and aggression. It can lead to violent or aggressive behavior from drivers, endangering their own lives and the lives of others on the road. Aggressive driving behavior is another issue that is concerning or is related to road rage. It involves behavior such as excess honking, sudden lane changes, and speeding. So the question is, what causes these people to exhibit this aggressive behavior? Like, what are the triggers? Confidence, let me start.
Okay.
What could be the trigger?
I don't even know. Where do I even start? Because honestly, road rage and aggressive behavior on the road is something that it's scary. Let me put it like that. It is scary. When you see the way people drive like they have their life. There's a second part of their life that they hid in their mother's boxes. They drive like there's a life that they kept somewhere. So I think one of the triggers is impatience. People are very impatient. Impatience and lawlessness. People are impatient. You see somebody, I don't know whether I always ask myself, why is Nigeria's own different? Why are we different? Yes, I know that we're unique people. Well, why are we such a special species of Africans? Because in other continents, in other countries, they have they have traffic jams, and they will maintain that one lane. Nobody is trying to enter into another lane, or nobody is trying to, overtake another person inside that same hold up. They do it till everybody gets to where they're supposed to go. In Nigeria, na lie. If somebody does not overtake you and break your side mirror, the person will scratch your car. If the person does not scratch your car, you must come down and you fight. And that person will, do that thing and still come down and tell you that you are stupid, you are generous. I don't know. I feel like people are just impatient. Somebody told me that I think it's the situation in Nigeria that is making, people to be so vicious. I said, saying it like that is like you're defending that behavior. Yes. For God's sake, it's touching. You understand, it's touching everybody. The hardship is touching everybody. So why is it that there's a class of people that drive like, there's a class of sane people that drive well. Yes, they don't have it all. The hardship is touching them, but they drive well. And then there's this other big parts that drive like I said before, their life, they have where they stored. There's a second part of their life that if anything happens to them, they will activate it. So I don't subscribe to is the hardship that is causing people to drive recklessly. It's a lie. Do you know that Nigerians, some of them, when they get to, the US, when they get to the UK, for example, go and drive that rubbish. My uncle lives there, so he will tell you that if you honk, you pay fine. And trust me, their fine is, by the time you pay £200, you will use your hand and tell yourself that, okay, I should be driving. And at every point, you understand, there's cameras, there's a system that will checkmate you. So if you think that you can exhibit the Nigerian in you over, in those countries, they will come to your door and they will knock. And the funniest part of it, no police, there are no policemen on the road. Like we have FRSC, we have LASMA, VIO, checkmating you. Nobody has your time over there. They will come to your doorstep and knock and ask you, hello. We have, if you say your own is too much, they will show you yourself in 3D. So I think, this lawlessness and impatience, those are the two, underlying factors. It's not that we cannot be a lawful people when it comes to driving on the road. It's just that honestly speaking, if you ask me, I don't know what the issue is. People are just impatient. You just want to get to a particular place immediately. When I was in secondary school, there's this teacher, she said something that it has not left me. I'm not a late comer, but she always says it's better to be late than to be late. I don't know if you understand that or not. It's better that you're late to a place. Kukuma just majestically drive and get to that place on time. Let them see you that you came late than that you're speeding. And then they say, she was late though. But she Kukuma even died. Yes. So
we were talking about road rage and aggressive behavior. One of the major reasons where you see we get traffic and go slow, like we see it over here, or traffic jam or gridlock, is this case of do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Now, what do they call traffic for road?
So I think personally, I like to say this with no offense to women. Especially wait. It happens elsewhere, but in Abuja where we are, an average Abuja woman who has a car, she's quick to always say that yes. So she was quick to say, okay, do you know who I am? Like, you want to take advantage of me because I'm a woman. Yeah. So that kind of argument always ensued, and in that fact, they will always, maybe she might even say, okay, she's no more going anywhere. She'll park her car and say, okay, you are not leaving today. I'm not leaving today. And at the end of the day, the both party actually waste their time. And I could still remember a particular incident that happened in Lagos. I went for a conference, and at the end of towards the while the conference was going on, we're discussing about digital rights issues in Africa. And one Cameroonian woman who came for the conference, she said, she first of all said that Nigerians are aggressive. So when she said Nigerians are aggressive, she said from the driver that took her from the airport to all the people she's seen, everybody, to the point at which she got to the hotel, everybody seems to be aggressive. She said, but that actually is what is needed in their own country. He said from the part of Cameroon where she comes from, you have the northern Cameroon and you have the southern Cameroon. He said the southern Cameroon where she came from, they are quite docile. And that's the more reason why their president is still in power for a very long time. Because while some people are agitating, the other part of people are saying, no, let us still allow things to be. So so sometimes being aggressive, sometimes, you'd say an average Lagosian they carry last, an average Nigerian they carry last. That kind of hustling and bustling kind of spirit, when we take it outside the shores of Nigeria, sometimes it helps us to make sense in such a way that we're always feeling like, okay, we are here and there. So some of the hardship we're able to withstand here. When we get out there, where things so when things are working, you now tend to channel it to what took you to the country. Hopefully, maybe if it is work, you now start seeing that, okay, they say the Nigerian became the CEO of an international organization. If it is study, you see that, okay, the Nigerian topped a class in the university and all that. But when it comes to road driving on the road, the FRSC has its own mandate. The moment they caught anybody, maybe through rough driving and anything, if they didn't collect money from you and they want to treat you the way the law said they should treat you. So the first thing is to say, okay, fine. They will have to maybe say you should go and do psychiatric test.
Yes, that's the first thing. Yeah.
Actually, so you have to go and do psychiatric test. So even test if at all your brain is okay. Yeah. Because one thing is they have driving schools all around. Yeah. And those driving schools are being certified by FRSC. So you undergo a driving school, after which you go and do some biometric exams and to just see that, okay, fine, you are okay.
You're fit,
yes. After that, they will now award you the certificate and give you the driver's license. Yes. So which means you have been certified that you can drive safely on the road. But most of the times, a lot of people, and they will say, if you have to drink, don't drive. And if you have to drive, don't drink. Yes. But a lot of times, what gives some people energy is that to boost, especially the public transport drivers, is to drink all those this thing. They will go to one woman that is selling a book, add everything early in the morning. So she add this thing. So it's quite aggressive. Number one, to his conductor. Now, so there is nothing that anybody wants to say in that vehicle that will make sense to him. So such kind of people, we see on and on. So to curb that, I think there is more orientation that has to go through their union. There's the National Union of Road Transport Workers, the Road Transport Owners Association and all that. So that they have to sensitize their drivers more on how to actually drive safely on the road. And if that's on the part of the people we felt, okay, they are not educated or all this. Now, we have a lot of people who are mentally derailed, who are in suits,
be on the road.
who are in suits. So, and you now see that, okay, if you see somebody in suits, you believe that the person is sane and all that. But quite a number of times, you discover that the suit is just a camouflage. If you just maybe mistakenly touch him, yes. So if you just mistakenly touch him, he will be willing to pull off his suit and say, "Okay, you did Chris, your father," and all that, bringing that into play. So, and I think that it has to do with a lot of mental health issues that Nigerians are going through. But beyond this thing, there's a way you can actually bundle it up, possibly until where you get to your destination, so that you are sane and you don't transfer those aggressions to the other party. Because number one, it's not only affecting the other party, it might lead to death of other persons, it might lead to waste of time, and time is money. Somebody might be chasing maybe a contract or something and say, be here at 9 o'clock. But because you've been able to use your own to waste his time, he got there and they say, "Oh God, the deal is done."
The aggression multiplies.
Yes. So all those things, I think people should be able to try to avoid it. If you are not okay, if you're not mentally okay, you might just say, "Okay, I want to keep my car." and maybe use public transport and go to work, so that at that pace you're able to clear your head and you don't transfer those aggressions to people who are not supposed to be.
So are the law enforcement agencies actually doing enough? Because some of them, even if they fault you, they won't take it to their offices. Rather, they'll be like, guys, sort me out now, or babe, sort me out, and all those kind of things. Would that really help?
It's doing more harm, than good, because in a country like Nigeria, once you have money, let me say it in pidgin, once you get money, everything don't deal. You understand?
Yes,
once you have money,
a friend will always say that money stop nonsense.
Exactly. People always say money stops nonsense. So you see somebody doing the wrong thing, I think it's a two-way thing. The blame is on people who have cars, who are driving, and the blame is also on our, law enforcement agencies. When you see somebody doing the wrong thing, hold them. What you did is wrong. Money aside, but I mean, why in Nigeria? This is Nigeria.
There's
so
a Nigeria
you're not surprised.
Now, where you do work, you do chop. So it's already
exactly. So they feel, they don't pay them enough. So they should be able to, if we catch you, we already know that you don't want to go through the stress of, the process and the law. So bring your money, and then there are some people, like Chef today said, he said there are some people who are not supposed to be on the road. There are some people who did not go to driving school, who don't have a driver's license, and they are driving. And the sad aspect of this topic is the fact that people die.
Yes.
People lose their lives on a daily. People, unnecessary deaths. We in Nigeria are so spiritual. You say, oh, God gives and God takes. But sometimes there's some deaths that are really unnecessary. And it's because somebody is an evil behind four wheels. It's the way my mom explains. She say you're an evil waiting to happen, behind four wheels. And you know that when you drive, you're not just driving for you, you're driving for every other person around you. So sometimes this particular issue, the law enforcement should do better. It's not about money. You know that this person is death waiting to happen. Take the person off the road. Like he said, if you're not fit to drive, please don't drive. Leave the car.
Confident, I just said it all. All right, let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Moving on to our last topic, we will be talking about a serious health issue that is affecting our society. We will be talking about the problem of obesity and its implication on public health. According to the World Health Organization, obesity is defined as having a body mass index greater than or equal to 30. In the past few decades, the prevalence of obesity has increasingly become rapid across the globe, and it is now considered a major public health issue. Nigerian comedian Real Worry Pikin has opened up about her weight loss journey and how she revealed she underwent surgery to lose weight. She revealed that she has been struggling with her weight for many years and have experienced health problems due to her weight, including difficulty in breathing, knee pain, high cholesterol, and chest pain. So now, what are the major causes or factors of obesity, and how can this be addressed in order to prevent its spread?
One of the major factor of obesity, some is actually hereditary.
Yeah.
So you see that maybe by virtue of birth, yes, the parents are maybe obese, so definitely you are likely to have children who have that. Then that one you can't control it because it's by birth. Then, but the ones that we can control is what we eat.
Yes.
It is said that you are what you eat. So most times, a lot of what we eat, our intake is what, and if we are not able to control it, it can trigger some of these the body
health
to
issues.
Health issues. But one thing that is actually very important that we need to look at critically is the issue that was mentioned here, the high cholesterol. And you could see some of maybe the granite oil and this thing that we use. Some of them have high cholesterol, and they are not clean enough for the health. And most times people have such intake, and you just see more of like, okay, this happens, and it becomes an issue. Then there are a lot of people that also have the psychological, what we call the self-esteem issues. So if you are slim, seems like maybe
body
have
dysmorphia.
Yes. So those people, they are not proud of their body. They always feel that, okay, maybe if there is
Put on some
yes.
flesh,
So if I have maybe what's it called, maybe a needle or sorry, an injection, so to say, like there are some injections people will take, and within and within maybe a couple of weeks, boom. So such people, it's for their own is not about maybe what they're going through. It's more about how to build their own self-esteem, to make them look, because some people, because they are slim, some of them at some point in time they are not able to even stand up to say some things. So in congregations whereby nobody even cares about how you look. So, but people are not able to air it because they feel that, okay, if I say it now, they'll say, okay, what is this this person saying? Yes. So they're always waiting for time to also look for something to cover up so that they are able to do. So these are some of the causes of obesity. So, but then in terms of controlling it, there are times whereby you yourself, you know that, okay, this thing is getting too much. So it's more of a personal journey than being generic. So it's at the point in time, if your body size might be okay. So if you are not having any of this difficulty in breathing, maybe you have to, there are sometimes some people, they can't run. So if they run or maybe trek a long distance, they start sweating profusely and their breathing would actually change. It would be as if, okay, maybe they're having maybe a severe health issues. So all those are reasons why you need to look at it inward as a personal thing to look at this point. It's okay, fine, I think I'm getting fat. So how do I control it? Frequent exercise, reduce the amount of things you take. You regulate the kind of intake you have. And that way you are able to but one of the secrets that actually that any health practitioner will always recommend is the fact that you should engage in frequent exercise. So you make exercise a routine, a daily routine for you. So number one, it makes your body to be fit. So that if you are jumping, you are landing as one. Not that once you throw you just fall your kata. Yes. So I think those are ways you can actually reduce or prevent the spread of obesity. So it's more of a personal journey than a general thing.
Okay, before I just need you to explain maybe briefly as regards your take, then we'll now answer the second question, which says, like, how does the food industry play a role in the problem of fast food convenience and lack of healthy food or alternative options or meals?
Okay, so just to add to what Shamsuddin said, parents also play a vital role in the spread of obesity. And then the second thing is people need to be kind. People need to be more kinder. You'd be surprised if I told you that some people got fat because of what people say to them. Yeah. He made an example. He used, an example of somebody who is slim, body dysmorphia. Now, some of these people they did not decide that they want to get fat. And then the other angle is, what are they calling it? Depression, mental issues, mental health, trauma, life experiences. If you've seen, there are some programs they do, on the TV. I've seen my 600 LB Live. Some of those programs, when you get to hear certain stories behind why this person got to 600 LB, you'll be shocked that most of the issues revolve around people factor. People need to be kinder. I remember when Worry began to talk about, her weight loss, people said a lot of things, and she had to come to her page on Instagram and say, you people need to be kind. People said that why did she have to go for surgery? And there's some of these things, you have to tackle it the medical way. Like, you have to go for surgery. There's something, exercise is good, but at some point, if you follow this 600 LB life, some of them have to go, for surgery, because at some point, the body can't deal anymore. And, she outlined the fact that, okay, she was dealing with this, she was dealing with this, she was dealing with this, and people still went ahead to say, they're making rude remarks. And I felt bad because, like I said, it's a people factor. Some of the things people say is mean. People are mean. And then life experiences, trauma, somebody that had lost a spouse, that's lost a child. And then the person, people begin to find that succor in eating. And then they eat and eat and eat. And suddenly they just lose track of, they get to a point where they're like, oh my goodness, is this what I have turned to? And then they resign to face. And it takes somebody coming around to help them, and then some of them taking the decision that, okay, I think I'm killing myself. That was what happened to Worry Picking. Her husband stepped in and told her that, babe, I love you big. You know, I like you like this.
And I think to add to what you said, there are some people, there are some health conditions that also trigger such. And one of such is, I know of somebody who is suffering from fibroid. So a lot of people thought she was pregnant because she had more weight within that period. And she said no, that she has been going through such for like 3 years, and people just see her being fat and being big and feel that, okay, that's it. So health issues.
PCOS is another thing. So I think, people need to be kind, and then people also need to be careful. What we eat, says a lot about us. And then the role that the food industry should, I think they have a role to play in these problems. Most of the things that they put out there, fast food, some of these things, they do more harm to our health. Like, for example, fry. I always like to call it fry. You go out there, you eat this, you eat that, you eat this, you eat that, ready to eat. And then, we as people that are eating it don't even ask questions. So yes, while, the food industry has a role to play, I think they push it out, right? Shana, we go eat that. Yes. So while they push it out, we as a people should also take note of what, we put into our body. Because let's be honest, it's not going to stop. You talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. There are people that will still eat these junks. There are people that will still go for fast food because they don't have time to cook. But it still falls back on us as a people. Be careful what you eat. You will not know that you're obese. Some people think is when you have got some fat, you've reached that 600 that you now say, okay, I'm obese. You could have gotten to a particular weight and the doctor is telling you you're obese and you don't believe it. So I think, we as a people, we need to be careful with what we put into our body.
Obesity is a serious public health issue that has significant implications for individuals. So it is important to work together to prevent and manage obesity by promoting healthy behaviors and creating a supportive environment. This is where we draw the curtain for today. You already know, talk show where they talk as EB. Let's do this again, same place, same time. We would love to hear from you, so be a part of our conversation by dropping your opinions in our comment sections. And don't forget to follow all our social media handles displayed on your screen for more captivating episodes of Viewpoint. Do subscribe and turn on the notification bell on our YouTube channel at Oweleketv. Our website is Oweleketv. See you again.
Bye-bye.